Okay, we're going to start today just in a comfortable seated position. Before we start our movement practice, breathing in through the nose and you can breathe out through the mouth. If that feels good, directing your breath lower down into your belly. One more time. On your next inhale, let's bring the arms up overhead. And interlace the fingers, push the hands up towards the ceiling. Start to bring the hands to the back of the neck and just pull the elbows back behind you, open up the chest. Then on your next breath, bring the elbows to touch in front, stretch out the back body. Reverse the grip. So reverse the way the fingers are interlaced, and then push the elbows back behind you again one more time. And then bring them to touch in front. Come back into neutral. You can bring the arms down just for a second. Then we'll bring the fingertips up to the shoulders and just start making big circles with the elbows. Reaching them all the way up to the ceiling and bring them almost to touch out in front of you again. One more time like this. And then switch directions. One more time. And then release. Just bring the hands down by your sides, let your neck move in whatever ways feel good. We'll start to make some big neck circles. Going all the way around 2 times and then switch directions. Hold anywhere that feels like it needs some extra space. And then we'll just roll up over the ankles and head towards our tabletop position. From here, on your next inhale, bring chin up to the tailbone. And exhale, round out the spine, push it towards the ceiling, cat-cow. 2 more times. Following your own breath. Back into a neutral spine. We'll tuck the toes under, just push back for a second, stretch out the feet a little. And then we'll lift the hips all the way up, start to make your way towards a downward dog. You might need to keep a really big bend at the knee as the hamstrings start to warm up. Roll around the ankles, pedal out the feet so you can stretch out the calves a little bit. We'll be here for 3 more breaths, so whenever you want to find stillness, go ahead and do that. And then on your next inhale, walk to the top of the mat, fold all the way forward. Let the head be heavy. Back to the hands can come all the way down. Or you can bring them once again to the back of the neck and just create a little bit of extra traction, stretch out the upper back body, the neck a little bit more. And then roll the spine all the way up to stand on your next breath in. Breathe out when you get to the top. Inhale, bring the hands up overhead, look towards the ceiling. And exhale, fold. Bring the hands to the shins, come up halfway on your next inhale. And then bring the hands down to the mat. Take the right foot all the way back. Hold here in this lunge. And then this might be a good place to have some blocks or some books if you want to grab some, but we're just going to start rocking back and forth in this stance. So we're stretching out the right hip and the left hamstring, going However fast or slow feels good in your body, or if you want to hold one position longer, if either of these places are particularly tight. The next time you rock forward, bring your hands down to frame the left foot. Take the left foot back beside the right, and then bring the knees down, lower all the way to the front of the body. Reach the hands just slightly out in front, loop the shoulders up and back for cobra. And release on the exhale. 2 more times. On your inhale, come up into cobra. You can bring the left shoulder down, look over the right if that feels good. And on your exhale, release. Last time, come up. Bring the right shoulder down, look over the left. And release, bring it back down. From here, we're gonna reach the hands out in front of us. The forehead can stay down while you're doing this. And you can just bring the hands up as high as you possibly can. We're gonna bring them back to our lower back. So it's going to feel like you're doing snow angels, lying on your front. Or this is called a prone swimming position. So like you're swimming, keep the neck long, look down at the mat, bring the forehead down if that feels good. We're just going back and forth, really heating up the shoulders. Let's go 3 more times. I get some cracks. Last one. And then release everything down. You can bring one cheek to the mat or make a pillow with your hands and bring your forehead down. Take a breath. On your next breath in, start to bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Push back up through your tabletop, back into your downward dog. And we'll take the right foot all the way up behind us in space. You can bend that knee, open up the hip towards the side wall, and then square the hips again, step that right foot through the hands, come up into a high lunge. Hold here for a breath. And then bring the hands back down, step the left foot forward, beside the right, we're back in our forward fold. And inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale at the top. Next breath in, bring your hands overhead, look up. Fold forward on the exhale. Come up halfway, hands to shins. And then bring the hands down, take the left foot back. Hold here in your runner's lunge. And then we'll start to rock back and forth. Getting into that left hip, right hamstring. Holding in either spot. If one of them feels like they need a bit more space. The next time you rock forward, bring the hands down, frame that right foot, take it back beside the left, hold your plank here. Deep breath. One more. And then we'll lower all the way to the front of the body again. From here, come up onto your elbows. This is called Sphinx pose. We're just going to bring the left knee up as high as it'll come towards the left hand. Then breathe here. It's a really subtle, gentle pose, but depending on how tight your hips are, it might not be so gentle for you. It doesn't feel all that gentle for me in this moment. Two more breaths. Focusing on the release. And then start to bring that left knee back down beside the right knee, up as close as you can towards the right hand. Deep breaths here. What are you focusing on? 2 more breaths. And then take that right knee back beside the left. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. We'll tuck the toes and this time push all the way up into plank. Bring the left hand closer into center, roll over into a side plank. And you can stack your feet one on top of the other, or you can have them beside each other, whatever feels best for you right now. Just hold here, a little bit of core work. You want to challenge yourself, but not push towards pain. And release, start to bring that right hand down, replace the left hand with the right, roll over to the other side. Try to stack everything up so it starts to feel easy, like you're just relying on your structure. A couple more breaths here. Building strength. You can also be doing this from the elbows, if that feels better for you today. And you can start to bring it back around. We'll head back into our plank. And we can go through the vinyasa, down onto the knees and through cobra, or you can come through chaturanga into upward facing dog. We'll all meet in our downward dog. Find your stillness here. Take some rest. And then take the left foot all the way back up behind you. Bend the knee, open up the hip. And then step that left foot between the hands at the top, followed by the right. Hold forward. On your next breath, we'll flatten the hands back down again. Take the right foot to the back of the mat. Come up into your high lunge. Take a breath here. And then we'll step forward and come all the way up to stand on your next inhale. We're going to move into tree pose. So start to bring your weight into your right foot. Take the left foot either to the shin or up into the inner thigh. Just want to avoid the knee. And from here, once you feel like you have your balance, we'll interlace our fingers again, bring them back behind the head. Woo. Makes it a little bit more challenging. We're going to move through 5 breath cycles of inhaling the elbows open and exhale, crunch it in, try to bring the elbows to touch in front of the body. 4 more times like that, following your own breath, opening up the chest. And bringing the elbows into touch on your exhales. Feel how much work your ankle's doing right now. 1 more breath. And release the hands. Bring them back into center. And then see if your balance steadies a little bit once you're back into this more familiar position. From here, you can release that left knee, bring it up into the chest, and send it all the way back behind you. Come into airplane pose with warrior 3. Keep a little micro bend in that standing knee. You don't want to be completely locked out. And your hands can be down by your sides, or if you want more of a challenge, you can bring them up in front of you, your biceps are by your ears. Start to bring the fingertips towards the earth, standing splits. Then you can bring this left foot beside the right. Just wiggle through the legs as you come back to stand. We're going to come into tree on the other side, so bring your weight into your left foot. Bring the right foot to the shin or inner thigh, whatever you did on the other side. And then interlace your fingers, maybe the other way this time. And we'll do our 5 rounds of breath, opening the chest, crunching the elbows in, keeping a strong core that'll help you balance throughout this. Two more times. Inhale, open up the heart. And exhale, bring it in. And then release the arms. Once you've done your 5, bring the hands back into heart center. Feel your balance start to steady. Take a breath here. Start to release that right knee, bring it into center. Send it all the way back behind you, coming into our warrior 3. Hands alongside you or out in front. Try to keep the hips square towards the mat. And then bring the hands down, come into standing splits. Take that right foot up as high as you can. Bring the right foot back beside the left. Wiggle the legs all the way back up to standing. Take a breath when you get to the top. From here, let's inhale the arms up one more time. Release, bring them down all the way as you fold. Bring the hands to the shins, come up halfway on your next inhale. And bring the hands down. On the exhale, we're just gonna tiptoe all the way back to our down dog. Take a breath when you get there. Take that right foot up, back behind you again into the sky. Step it through on your next breath. Bring the back foot down into the side. We're gonna come up into our warrior 2. Breathe here. Bring the elbow to the knee on your next breath. And the arm can go up overhead or reach towards the front of the mat. And you can stay here, or you can start to straighten that front leg a little bit more and move into triangle pose. Looking either down towards the foot or up towards that left hand, whatever feels better for your balance. Come up through your warrior 2. Bring the right hand overhead, exalted warrior. And then cartwheel the hands back down to frame the front foot, come up onto the back toes, and move back into your plank. Hold here. One more breath. And then send the hips up into the sky, come into your downward dog. Take the left foot all the way up behind you. And bring it through, step it between the hands. Come up into your warrior 2 on the other side. Start to bring your elbow towards your knee. That right hand reaches overhead or forward. And then you can start to straighten the front leg if you did that on the other side. Come into Trikonasana or triangle pose. One more breath, and then we'll loop through our warrior 2, try to make it feel fluid. Bring that left arm overhead, come into reverse or exalted warrior. Cartwheel the hands back down to frame that left foot. Take it beside the right, hold plank. 2 breaths. And then send the hips all the way back, down dog. Tiptoe to the top of the mat. And we'll just cross the ankles, come all the way down to seated. You can bring the feet close to your bum. We're going to do just a little bit of core before we head down to our backs. So reach the hands out in front. Move slowly as you can all the way to your back. Try to make it a count of 10. Then when you get to your back, we'll once again interlace the fingers behind the head. Just lift the elbows up and hold here. One more breath. Starting to feel some wiggles. Then release. Come up again on the inhale. This time, reach the right elbow towards the left knee. One more breath. And release. Come up on your next inhale. Left elbow towards right knee. And release. Bring it back towards the mat. Bring the knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then take the feet back down. Make sure that you can reach your heels with your fingertips. And on your next breath in, just lift the hips all the way up, coming into a bridge. Roll the shoulders underneath you as you lift up. Maybe clasp your fingers underneath and push through the elbows and the heels. Getting a nice back bend. Counteracting all the time that we sit at our computers. 2 more breaths here. And release, start to bring it back down. Bring your knees into your chest again, so give yourself one more squeeze. And bring the arms out into a T or into cactus. Take the knees all the way over to the left. Bring them down as far as feels good. If you want to bring some pillows or books or something like that under your knees. Bring the floor closer to you. Getting in a big spinal twist before we head into our final resting pose. Take one more deep inhale. And then we'll come in through center and bring the knees all the way over to the right. Twisting the other way, you can leave the arms where they are. If you want to make it more intense when you do your twists, you can, if my knees are over to the right now, you can bring your head over to the left. That feels good in your spine. One more breath. And then come back into center. Bring the feet up into the hands, come into happy baby. And just rock back and forth on the spine. Give yourself a bit of a massage. And then you can bring the feet back down to your mat, take everything out long, coming into Shavasana, our final resting pose. If there's anything else you feel like doing, anything else your body's asking for, this doesn't need to be your final time for rest. You can do whatever you feel like. But if you're ready for Shavasana, we'll head there now. Close down the eyes, let the breath come back to its natural state. And just relax. Let all the work that you just did settle into the body. Direct your breath anywhere that's still feeling a little bit of resistance. Start to bring yourself back into the room. You bring your hands to your belly, take one more breath here. And then we'll roll over to one side and meet in seated at the top of your mat. Bring the hands to the knees or up into heart center. We'll take one more breath to finish off. Big inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Thank you for practicing with me today. Hope you have a great day. And I'll see you here again on Thursday, same time. Bring a friend, bring a family member. Let me know if you need anything or you have any questions. Namaste.